All right, let's talk about the stock ONDS. It's been making some seriously big moves lately, and today we're going to break down what the technical data is really telling us about what's going on. So let's dive right in.
So get this, ONDS just rocketed up over 6% in a single trading day. Now, that's the kind of move that gets everyone's attention. But the real question is, right, is this just a one-day wonder or is it the start of something much bigger? That's what we're here to figure out. What is the data actually telling us?
And here's our anchor point for this whole discussion, $8.07. That's the current price. Everything else we look at today is going to revolve around this number.
Okay, before we get into the nitty-gritty, we have to zoom out. You can't really understand where a stock is right now without knowing where it's been. So let's take a look at the big picture. Wow, this slide really puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Just look at that insane range. We're talking about a low of just 57 cents all the way up to a high of $11.70. Right now, at $8, ONDS is sitting about 2/3 of the way up that range. So the big takeaway here is this. It has had a monster run up from its lows, but there's still a good bit of room to run before it even gets back to its peak for the year.
All right, let's get to the most fundamental question in technical analysis. What's the trend? Is the stock heading up, down, or is it just chopping around sideways? To figure this out, we're going to use one of the most reliable tools in the shed, moving averages.
And this right here perfectly illustrates just how powerful the recent move has been. Check it out. The short-term 5-day average is right there hugging the current price at 805. But then look at the long-term 200-day average. It's all the way down at 351. That massive gap between the two tells you that this recent uptrend has been incredibly explosive.
And really, if you take away just one thing about the trend, it's this. The price is currently sitting above every single major moving average you can think of. Short-term, medium-term, long-term, you name it. For a chart watcher, it honestly doesn't get much more bullish than this. We can even quantify this strength. The moving average alignment score is a 1. That's a perfect score. It means all the averages are stacked in perfect bullish formation, with the faster short-term averages leading the slower long-term ones. It's the picture of a healthy, strong uptrend. So we've established the trend is strong and pointing up. But does it have the power? You know, the oomph to keep climbing. That's where momentum comes in. We're looking for the strength and the speed behind the move to see if it's got staying power.
First up, we've got a classic momentum tool, the MACD. See those bars? The first one, the MACD line itself, is way higher than the second one, the signal line. And that third bar, the histogram, that's just showing you the difference between the first two. Because it's positive, it's flashing a classic bullish signal. It's basically saying that this upward move is not only happening, it's actually gaining strength.
Next, let's check the RSI. Now, the best way to think about the RSI is like a speedometer for the stock price. It tells you how fast the price is accelerating, and, more importantly, it can warn you if the engine is starting to redline, what traders call overbought.
So where's our speedometer at right now? 55.17. Now, what does that mean? Well, usually once you get above a reading of 70, you start to worry about things being a little too hot, a little overextended. But at 55, we're just cruising comfortably in the fast lane. This suggests that even after this big run, there can still be plenty of fuel left in the tank. Okay, now for a really critical piece of this puzzle, volume. See, a price move on its own is interesting, but a price move backed by heavy volume, that shows conviction. That tells us there's real money and real belief behind this trend.
And I mean, just look at this number. It's absolutely massive. This is the on-balance volume, which is kind of like a running tally of volume on up days versus down days. Seeing a positive number this huge, we're talking over 1.1 billion, is a powerful indicator that buyers have been dominating and accumulating this stock for a good while.
And here's another huge confirmation from the volume data. Think of the VWAP as the true average price for the day, because it's weighted by where the most trading happened. The fact that the stock closed more than 50% above that average, that's basically telling you that buyers were incredibly aggressive all day, pushing the price far beyond where the bulk of the action was. It's a huge sign of strong demand.
So, we've got a strong trend, we've got positive momentum, and we've got confirming volume. Let's pull this all together now and look at the actual price levels, the key battlegrounds the traders are going to be laser focused on.
Here they are. That pivot point at 798, you can think of that as the current line in the sand, the balancing point. If the price pulls back, that support level down at 741 is the first potential floor to watch. But the real prize for the bulls is up at 864.
That's the key resistance, the ceiling they need to break through to keep this party going.
So here's the bottom line. The data is pretty clear. The trend, the momentum, and the volume are all singing the same bullish song. But the final test, as always, is price itself. The crucial question really is this: is all that buying pressure we've been seeing strong enough to smash through that $8.64 ceiling? The answer to that question will likely write the next chapter for ONDS.